On gay dating apps like Grindr, many users have profiles that contain phrases like, "I don't date black men," or that claim they are not attracted to Latinos. Other times, they'll list race acceptable to them, white, Asians, Latino only. A recent project by writer Christopher T. Connor explored how gay men justify these comments. The gay men he connected with tended to make one of two justifications. The most common was to simply describe their behaviors as preferences. One user explained that his image of his ideal partner was so fixed that he would rather, as he put it, be celibate than be with a black or Latino man. The other way that he observed some gay men justifying their discrimination was by framing it in a way that put the emphasis back on the app. These users would say things like, "This isn't eHarmony, this is Grindr, get over it," or "block me." Responses like these reinforce the idea of Grindr as a space where social niceties don't matter and carnal desire reigns.
What is so interesting to me is how people continue to not only be dismissive of people's race or their body size, but they minimize discrimination. Like, people genuinely day to day are affected by racism, but you take someone's race and you take stereotypes and you literally you're completely dismissing and excluding someone based on their appearance. And these things are traumatic and triggering. And just because you want sex doesn't mean you have to be an asshole.
Yeah.
So if someone says that's their preference, then that's
Oh.
no.
Well, I think
Because we did a story also that they also had like no Asians and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, and that's completely
It's
derogatory.
horrible. No,
I
it's
think,
horrible.
but-
Well, even if you could say it's not the internal self-realization of why it's not your preference, you know? Yeah, you could say that something isn't your preference, but dig. Ask your question, why isn't black or Asian or Latino your preference? And then you'll find out where the racism
in the
lies.
LGBTQ community, do we not take that next?
Because it's all about fun.
And not only that, no one's posing that as a question, you know? We
That's
just
true.
simply say it's racist. But why is it racist? What does that preference represent to you? Why isn't that black person interesting to you?
Right.
Is it their physical appearance, or is it the stereotypes and negative exposures, or what you have been taught that makes them not committed to you or not important to you?
In 2011, I went to a matchmaker, right? I was doing a radio show in New York, and I went to a matchmaker, and I said that I preferred not to date someone that was white. Okay, that was my preference, black, etc. Was that me being racist?
Well, again, why did you prefer that? Was it because white people in a certain, just their skin color or the stereotypes or the idea of them the reason why, or was there another reason? You know,
I just
that's
wanted to
what
speak
you have
Spanish.
choose.
That was it.
Wow.
Well, the white person that speaks Spanish, for instance, my family speaks Spanish and they're not Spanish, you know? So you have to dig deep and realize that, hey, those preferences that you causes or experiences of racism.
You know, to me, the
Boom.
shocking, the shocking impact of this story that we're telling tonight is probably the dirty little secret that the LGBTQ community that has fought for 53 years for equality since the Stonewall riots is actually as discriminatory inside our community as well outside of our community. That's the
We're
dirty
a
little
reflection of the
secret.
larger population. Racism is deeply embedded worldwide. If you are a human being, racism shows up somewhere in your life.
Yeah. The other thing that I think is super interesting in this preferences is I will fully say, you know, I've been here in South Florida for 3 years. I have never a cultural minority majority community as South Florida is. And so it has forced me to evaluate many of the things that I've thought. We, you know, Faye and Tony Lima and others frequently make the joke of privileged white guy, privileged white male. And there's truth in the joke. The acceptance of the joke from my standpoint is that it is funny because it's true, or at least it was true. And I have been forced in the last 3 years to do exactly what you've said. Why? Ask yourself why you're thinking this way and digging deeper, because I've contributed to this